Now there's news that the king and queen might be in big trouble for what happened to her. Some believe they played a part in the accident that took her life, and it has led to them being punished. This is a huge moment because it makes people wonder what will happen to the royal family now. The world is watching closely, shocked and curious, as this unbelievable story unfolds. Could this be the end of the royal family as we know it? Will the truth finally come out after so many years? The mystery of Princess Diana's tragic end has returned, and it feels like the world is holding its breath, waiting to see what happens next. The secret investigation. Now, imagine this. It's been years since Diana's tragic death. The world has moved on, or at least, that's what everyone believed. But suddenly, out of nowhere, a storm breaks loose. One evening, a mysterious video leaks online. At first, people think it's fake. It's grainy, shaky, looks like an old secret recording. But what's in that video leaves everyone speechless. It shows a secret meeting that no one was ever supposed to see. There's a man who looks shockingly like King Charles. He's younger in the video. There's also Camilla, sitting quietly in the corner, listening. A man dressed like a British agent talks about removing threats to the royal family. And right there, the name Diana is mentioned. The internet explodes. News channels pick it up. Suddenly everyone's eyes are back on that dark night in Paris. Could it be that Diana's death wasn't just an accident after all? Soon, more shocking evidence starts to surface. Old CCTV footage from the tunnel appears. Footage that was supposedly destroyed years ago. But here it is, showing a mysterious black car tailing Diana's vehicle. Whistleblowers from MI6 come forward, shaking with fear, claiming they were forced to stay silent all these years. One of them confesses, "We were told this was for the good of the country." Digital forensics teams jump in. They dig up hidden letters Diana wrote. Letters where she feared for her life. She even wrote, "They are planning something, and I know who's behind it." Her words send chills down everyone's spine. DNA tests, bank transactions, and secret recordings all start to form a terrifying picture. Slowly but surely, the dots begin to connect. And shockingly, they lead right to Charles and Camilla. The world watches in disbelief. Headlines scream, "Diana's murder mystery. The royals involved?" Crowds gather outside Buckingham Palace. People chant Diana's name. The world's most famous family is now facing its darkest hour. The royal trial. And then, something happens no one thought possible. The British government announces a royal trial. For the first time in history, a reigning king and queen are being dragged to court for murder. The trial becomes the biggest event the world has ever seen. Cameras flash as Charles and Camilla arrive at the courthouse. Their faces pale, eyes heavy with guilt or maybe fear. Streets overflow with angry crowds holding posters of Diana. Some cry, some scream, and some just stand frozen, unable to believe their eyes. Inside the courtroom, shocking witnesses take the stand. Former royal aides, once loyal to the crown, now speak the truth. They describe secret meetings in the palace, hidden conversations, and orders given in hushed voices. One of the Queen's former bodyguards wipes his tears as he says, "I was told to follow Diana, to report every move. I didn't know it would lead to this." Next, a former MI6 officer steps forward. He reveals secret files, proof that the agency was ordered to watch Diana, record her, and if needed, get rid of her. The courtroom gasps. The prosecution plays a hidden audio recording. It's crackly but clear enough. A voice, eerily similar to Charles, says, "It has to be done. She's a danger to us all." Gasps fill the air. Camilla's face turns ghost white. The financial records come next. Huge sums of money moving in and out of secret accounts. Payments to agents, cars, even the very hotel where Diana stayed that night. Every piece of evidence adds another nail to the royal coffin. Outside, the nation is divided. Some still believe in the monarchy. Others demand justice for Diana. Protests break out across the country. Monarchists clash with those shouting for the royal family to be abolished. And then comes the final blow. Diana's old friend takes the stand. Tears fall as she shares a conversation they had just weeks before Diana's death. She told me she was scared. She said, "If anything happens to me, look at them. Look at Charles and Camilla." The courtroom falls silent. It's no longer just a case. It's history being made. The verdict: guilty. Finally, after weeks of shocking testimonies, the world holds its breath as the jury returns. The judge looks down, voice trembling slightly, and says the words no one thought they'd ever hear. "We, the jury, find King Charles and Queen Camilla guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, abuse of power, and obstruction of justice." For a moment, the entire courtroom is frozen. Then gasps, screams, and even cheers erupt. The judge announces the sentence. "For your crimes, you are hereby sentenced to life imprisonment. If the crown wishes, you may instead choose exile, never to return to this land again." Charles lowers his head. Camilla is seen wiping her tears, but it's too late. The damage is done. The monarchy, once the pride of Britain, is shattered in front of the entire world. Reactions pour in fast. Prince William and Prince Harry, once divided by oceans and grudges, sit side by side in the front row, their faces unreadable. Meghan Markle is seen comforting Harry, while Kate wipes her tears. It's a scene no one will ever forget. Outside, people cry, some in pain, some in joy. A woman holds up a picture of Diana and says, "Finally, she gets her justice." The monarchy, as the world knew it, is over. Global reactions and collapse of the monarchy news spreads like wildfire. Every corner of the earth is talking about it. World leaders come forward. Some express shock, others relief. The once golden image of the British royal family is now stained forever. Commonwealth countries waste no time. Australia, Canada, and others begin serious talks to remove the British monarch as their head of state. Some countries even vote right there and then. The message is clear. The crown no longer rules here. The UK streets are filled with protests. Some march with Diana's pictures, some chant her name, and some demand the country become a republic. The British flag flies half-mast, but not for the king, for the end of an era. For weeks, headlines dominate newspapers, social media, and every television screen. End of the Windsor era. The words stare back at millions every morning. Suddenly, Diana's story comes back to life. Documentaries air, new books are written, and old interviews resurface. There are even talks of posthumously declaring Diana a saint, a symbol of kindness, grace, and the people's princess forever. The nation reflects, heartbroken yet relieved. Justice has finally been served. Where are King Charles and Camilla now? So, where did King Charles and Queen Camilla go after it all ended? Reports say they chose exile. No one knows exactly where, but rumors swirl like wildfires. Some say they were sent to a secret castle in the middle of nowhere, guarded by soldiers, far away from the eyes of the world. Others believe they're locked away in a hidden royal prison, stripped of their titles, their luxuries, and their power. Years later, a secret interview surfaces. It shows a frail, older Charles. His once proud face now looks tired, worn out by guilt and regret. He whispers, "I thought I was protecting the crown, but I destroyed it." Camilla, pale and broken, is seen staring out of a dusty window. "We lost everything," she says. "Was it worth it? I don't even know anymore." Some people believe they deserve worse. Others think rotting away in loneliness is punishment enough. And somewhere, in the heart of London, stands a giant statue of Diana. Flowers cover its base every single day. Children run around it, laughing. Old women sit beside it, praying. The world remembers her not as a victim, but as the princess who won, even in death. And just like that, the story comes full circle. The mighty royals, once untouchable, are now just a memory. A warning to everyone that no power, no throne, no crown is greater than the truth. Karma took its time, but in the end, justice found its way. And Diana? She didn't just live forever in people's hearts. She became a legend, the princess who never needed a crown to rule the world. If you found this video thought-provoking, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our updates on this and other important stories. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think really happened? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Very blessed and very lucky. I've had an amazing life, music has been my life, and I got this for music and to work for charity.
Elton John has sparked royal drama like never before. The legendary singer has reportedly taken King Charles to the Supreme Court after shocking revelations about royal secrets. Elton, who shared a close bond with Princess Diana, claims the truth about her struggles and life within the royal family has been buried for too long, and King Charles might hold the key. This unexpected legal battle has left the public stunned, uncovering twists that could shake the monarchy to its core. So, what did Charles reveal? Elton John's revelation. Elton John, one of the world's most celebrated musicians, recently opened up about a shocking truth involving his late friend, Princess Diana, and King Charles. For years, Elton and Diana's friendship was admired by many. They were often seen laughing and enjoying each other's company at public events. But behind the scenes, their relationship faced unseen struggles that eventually led to a painful estrangement. Now, after decades of silence, Elton has revealed that King Charles played a significant role in driving a wedge between them. Elton and Diana's friendship began in 1981 at Prince Andrew's 21st birthday party. It was an unexpected bond that blossomed through shared humor, compassion, and understanding of the pressures that came with their public lives. Diana, trapped in a failing marriage and burdened by royal expectations, found solace in Elton's wit and empathy. Similarly, Elton, who had faced his own personal struggles, found a kindred spirit in Diana. Their bond was deep and genuine, but it wasn't without its challenges. According to Elton, the real turning point in their friendship came in 1997. He had asked Diana to contribute a foreword to a charity book for his AIDS Foundation, a cause he was deeply passionate about. Diana had initially agreed, but she later withdrew her support at the last minute. Elton was devastated and confused by her sudden change of heart. It wasn't until much later that he discovered the truth. King Charles had pressured Diana to pull out of the project. Charles was reportedly concerned about the royal family's image and believed that Diana's involvement in such a controversial project might bring unwanted attention. This revelation hurt Elton deeply. He felt betrayed, not just by Diana's decision, but by the unseen influence of King Charles. The incident marked the beginning of a painful rift between Elton and Diana. Their once close friendship cooled, and the frequent phone calls and meetings they had shared became a thing of the past. Elton chose to break his silence after years of reflection. He admitted that speaking out was not easy, knowing the weight his words carried. However, he felt it was important to share the truth. Not to stir controversy, but to honor Diana's legacy. Elton's revelation paints a complex picture of the pressures Diana faced as a member of the royal family, and the challenges that came with being her friend. It is a story of love, loss, and the enduring impact of one of the most beloved figures in modern history. King Charles's influence. King Charles has always been a figure of tradition, protocol, and responsibility when it comes to the British monarchy. However, behind the public image of duty lies a more complex story about his influence on those closest to him, including his late wife, Princess Diana. Recently, Elton John shed light on how Charles's actions not only shaped Diana's life, but also affected her friendships, particularly her bond with Elton himself. Elton and Diana shared a rare and beautiful friendship. They connected on a deep emotional level, with Elton offering her a sense of humor and empathy during some of her most challenging times. However, as their friendship grew, King Charles began to see it as a potential issue for the royal family. Diana's increasing popularity and her association with Elton, who was a global celebrity and a vocal advocate for causes like AIDS awareness, made Charles uneasy. He was deeply concerned with preserving the monarchy's image, and Elton's flamboyant personality and controversial work didn't align with the conservative values of the royal household. One of the most striking examples of Charles's influence was during the charity book controversy in 1997. Elton had asked Diana to write a foreword for a book supporting his AIDS foundation. Diana initially agreed, but at the last moment she pulled out. Elton later revealed that Charles had pressured Diana to withdraw her support, fearing that her involvement in such a project would tarnish the monarchy's reputation. This decision left Elton feeling betrayed and confused, and it marked the beginning of a painful estrangement between the two friends. Charles's influence didn't stop with the charity book. Elton also recalled how Diana often spoke to him about feeling trapped in her royal role. She described how Charles's emotional distance and his focus on tradition made it difficult for her to feel supported. Behind the scenes, Charles subtly shaped many of Diana's decisions, including her relationships with people outside the royal family. This created ongoing tension between Diana's desire to live authentically and her duty to conform to royal expectations. Elton's revelations about Charles's actions highlight the unseen pressures within the royal family. While Charles's intentions may have been to protect the monarchy, his influence had far-reaching consequences, including the isolation Diana felt and the strain it placed on her relationships. This story paints a picture of a man torn between his duty to the crown and the personal dynamics that defined his private life. The charity book incident. The charity book incident marked a turning point in Elton John's friendship with Princess Diana, a bond that had been cherished by both of them for years. In 1997, Elton was working on a charity coffee table book to benefit his AIDS foundation, a cause he held close to his heart. The book aimed to raise awareness and funds for AIDS during a time when the disease was still heavily stigmatized. It was a bold and compassionate project, and Diana, known for her humanitarian efforts, agreed to write the foreword. Her involvement would have been monumental, given her global influence and her fearless advocacy for causes that many avoided. Elton was overjoyed by Diana's support. Her name attached to the project would not only bring much-needed attention to the cause, but also help break the stigma surrounding AIDS. At the time, very few public figures, let alone members of the royal family, were willing to openly associate themselves with the issue. Diana's agreement to contribute to the book felt like a powerful step forward, both for the cause and their friendship. However, just as everything seemed to be falling into place, Diana suddenly pulled out of the project. Elton was blindsided and deeply hurt. He couldn't understand why she had withdrawn her commitment to something she had seemed so passionate about. The abrupt decision left him confused and questioning their friendship. It wasn't until much later that Elton discovered the truth. King Charles had intervened. According to Elton, Charles had expressed concerns about Diana's involvement in such a high-profile and controversial project. The royal family, with its strong focus on maintaining tradition and avoiding divisive topics, viewed Diana's connection to the AIDS cause as risky. Fearing that it could bring negative attention to the monarchy, Charles reportedly pressured Diana to step away from the book. This revelation left Elton devastated. He felt not only betrayed by Diana's decision, but also frustrated that outside forces, particularly Charles's influence, had come between them. For Diana, the situation was equally heartbreaking. She was caught between her loyalty to Elton and her desire to maintain peace within the royal family. The incident highlighted the immense pressure she faced as a member of the monarchy, where even her personal friendships and passions were subject to scrutiny. The charity book incident became a painful rift in their friendship, one that neither Elton nor Diana fully recovered from before her untimely death. It remains a poignant reminder of the challenges Diana faced in balancing her personal values with the demands of royal life. Diana's isolation. Princess Diana was one of the most beloved and iconic figures in modern history, but behind the public adoration and glamorous image, she lived a life of deep loneliness and isolation. Trapped in the rigid world of the royal family and burdened by the constant scrutiny of the media, Diana often felt like she had no one to truly turn to. Her struggles were heartbreaking, and they reveal the immense pressure she endured as both a princess and a human being. From the outside, Diana's life seemed like a fairy tale. She was the Princess of Wales, married to Prince Charles, and adored by millions across the globe. But behind the palace walls, things were far from perfect. Her marriage to Charles was strained, marked by emotional distance and infidelity. Diana was well aware of Charles's ongoing relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, and it left her feeling unloved and rejected. Despite being in the public eye, she felt more alone than ever. As her marriage fell apart, Diana found herself increasingly alienated within the royal family. The traditions and expectations of royal life were suffocating, and she struggled to find her place. She often described feeling like an outsider, unable to fit into the rigid mold that the monarchy demanded. Her every move was scrutinized, and her every flaw was magnified by the press. The constant presence of paparazzi only worsened her isolation, leaving her with little privacy or peace. Diana's mental health also suffered greatly during this time. She battled bulimia and depression, both of which were fueled by the pressures of her royal role and her crumbling marriage. She often confided in close friends about her feelings of hopelessness and despair. Elton John, one of her dearest friends, became a trusted confidant during her darkest moments. Late-night phone calls between the two revealed the depth of her struggles, as she shared her fears, frustrations, and longing for a life outside the royal spotlight. Despite her pain, Diana remained committed to her humanitarian work, which became a source of purpose for her. She channeled her feelings of isolation into compassion for others, using her platform to champion causes like AIDS awareness and landmine removal. In helping others, she found some solace, even as her own life felt increasingly out of control. Diana's isolation was a tragic aspect of her life, but it also shaped the legacy she left behind. Her humanity, vulnerability, and strength continue to inspire millions, reminding the world of the struggles she endured and the compassion she shared. Estrangement and reconnection. The friendship between Elton John and Princess Diana was one of the most heartfelt and captivating bonds in the public eye. However, like many close relationships, it wasn't immune to challenges. Their friendship faced a painful estrangement in the mid-1990s, only to find a bittersweet moment of reconnection shortly before Diana's tragic passing. The fallout between Elton and Diana stemmed from a charity book project in 1997. Elton had planned to release a coffee table book to benefit his AIDS Foundation, a cause he passionately championed. Initially, Diana agreed to write the foreword for the book, and her involvement was significant, as she was a fearless advocate for humanitarian issues. However, she later withdrew her support, leaving Elton hurt and confused. He later discovered that King Charles had influenced her decision, urging her to step back from the project to protect the royal family's image. This revelation created a rift between Elton and Diana, as their friendship, which had been a source of joy and comfort, began to fade. During their estrangement, both Elton and Diana experienced emotional struggles. Diana was dealing with the breakdown of her marriage, the relentless scrutiny of the media, and her own feelings of isolation. Elton, on the other hand, was deeply affected by the loss of their connection, as Diana had been one of the few people who truly understood him on a personal level. The distance between them weighed heavily on both sides, leaving a void that neither could easily fill. In July 1997, tragedy brought them back together. The unexpected murder of their mutual friend, Gianni Versace, served as a turning point. At Versace's funeral in Milan, Elton and Diana reconnected through their shared grief. Sitting side by side, they comforted one another, holding hands and speaking quietly. The warmth of their bond returned, even if only for a brief moment. For Elton, this reconnection was bittersweet, as it reminded him of the closeness they once shared. Sadly, their renewed connection was short-lived. Just weeks later, Diana tragically passed away in a car accident in Paris. Elton was left mourning not only the loss of a dear friend, but also the missed opportunity to fully repair their relationship. Their story of estrangement and reconnection remains a poignant reminder of the fragility of human relationships and the importance of cherishing the people we hold dear. Elton's tribute to Diana. Elton John's tribute to Princess Diana remains one of the most iconic and emotional moments in modern history. Their friendship was one filled with laughter, shared struggles, and mutual respect. When Diana tragically passed away on August 31st, 1997, Elton was devastated. He had only recently reconnected with her after a period of estrangement, and her sudden death left him heartbroken. In his grief, Elton found a way to honor his dear friend in a way that would resonate with millions around the world. At Diana's funeral, held at Westminster Abbey, Elton performed a reworked version of his song "Candle in the Wind." Originally written as a tribute to Marilyn Monroe, the lyrics were rewritten by Elton's longtime collaborator, Bernie Taupin, to reflect Diana's life and legacy. The new version, titled "Goodbye England's Rose," painted a beautiful and heartfelt picture of Diana as a compassionate, loving, and iconic figure who had touched the hearts of so many. The performance was deeply moving. As Elton sang, his voice carried the weight of his grief and the collective mourning of millions who had lost their people's princess. The lyrics spoke of Diana's kindness and her ability to connect with everyday people, breaking through the barriers of royalty to show her humanity. The line, "Your candle burned out long before your legend ever will," captured the essence of her impact. Her life was cut short, but her legacy would endure forever. Behind the scenes, Elton's tribute wasn't without controversy. King Charles reportedly had reservations about including such an emotional and modern performance in what was meant to be a traditional royal funeral. However, the Dean of Westminster supported the idea, understanding the need for the public to grieve in a way that felt genuine. Ultimately, Elton's performance became one of the most memorable moments of the service, resonating with people across the world. The reworked "Candle in the Wind" went on to become one of the best-selling singles of all time, with proceeds donated to Diana's charities. For Elton, it wasn't just a song. It was his way of saying goodbye to a dear friend and ensuring that Diana's memory would live on forever. Elton's loyalty to Diana's children. After Princess Diana's tragic death in 1997, Elton John remained deeply connected to her memory through his enduring loyalty to her two sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. His devotion to Diana's children became a way for him to keep her legacy alive while supporting the boys she loved so dearly. Over the years, Elton has acted as both a friend and a protector, standing by them during some of their most challenging moments. Elton shared a particularly close bond with Prince Harry, who reminded him of Diana's warmth, humor, and compassion. After Diana's death, Elton kept in touch with both William and Harry, but it was Harry who often turned to him for guidance. Elton, having faced his own battles with fame and personal struggles, understood the pressures the young princes faced growing up in the public eye. He became someone they could rely on, offering advice and emotional support when they needed it most. One of the most beautiful moments showcasing Elton's loyalty came in 2018, when he performed at Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding. His rendition of several songs during the reception was more than just entertainment. It was a heartfelt gesture of love and support for the couple. Elton's presence at the wedding highlighted his ongoing commitment to Diana's family and his willingness to celebrate their happiness, just as Diana would have wanted. However, Elton's loyalty went beyond joyful occasions. When Harry and Meghan faced relentless media scrutiny and criticism, Elton stepped in to defend them. He publicly supported the couple when they were accused of hypocrisy for using private jets, revealing that he had provided the flights and ensured they were environmentally offset. Elton's defense of Harry and Meghan showed that he wasn't afraid to stand up for them, even when it meant drawing criticism himself. This loyalty has not been without consequences. Elton's unwavering support for Harry and Meghan, especially as their relationship with the royal family grew strained, deepened the distance between him and the monarchy. Yet, Elton's priority has always been clear: honoring Diana's legacy and protecting her children. For Elton, his loyalty to Diana's sons is not just about friendship. It's a tribute to the bond he shared with their mother. Through his actions, he continues to defend and uphold the values Diana stood for, ensuring her spirit lives on through her children. Elton's criticism of Charles Elton John has never been one to shy away from speaking his truth, and when it comes to King Charles, his words carry significant weight. Over the years, Elton has become increasingly vocal about the role Charles played in Princess Diana's struggles. As one of Diana's closest friends, Elton witnessed firsthand the emotional toll her marriage to Charles took on her, and he hasn't hesitated to criticize what he sees as Charles's lack of support for Diana during her most difficult times. One of Elton's main criticisms of Charles revolves around his inability to emotionally connect with Diana. According to Elton, Diana often confided in him about how lonely and trapped she felt in her marriage. She described Charles as distant, and more focused on preserving the royal family's image than on addressing her needs or their relationship. This emotional neglect, coupled with Charles's ongoing affair with Camilla Parker Bowles, left Diana feeling isolated and heartbroken. Elton has also criticized Charles for the way he influenced Diana's personal decisions, particularly her friendships. One of the most notable examples of this was the 1997 charity book incident. Diana had agreed to write the foreword for a book benefiting Elton's AIDS Foundation, a cause she was passionate about. However, under pressure from Charles, who was concerned about the royal family's reputation, Diana withdrew her support. This caused a rift between Elton and Diana, one that was deeply painful for both of them. Elton has since spoken openly about how Charles's interference played a significant role in their estrangement. Beyond their personal dynamic, Elton has expressed disappointment in how Charles handled Diana's growing popularity. As Diana's humanitarian work and natural ability to connect with people made her the most beloved member of the royal family, Charles reportedly grew resentful. Elton believes that Charles's jealousy and desire to control the narrative surrounding Diana only added to her struggles within the monarchy. For Elton, his criticism of Charles isn't just about anger. It's about telling the truth. He feels a responsibility to honor Diana's legacy by shedding light on the challenges she faced, many of which, in his view, were shaped by Charles's actions. Through his words, Elton continues to defend Diana's memory and stand up for the values she represented. Standing up for Diana and her legacy. Elton John has always been a man of loyalty, and when it comes to Princess Diana, his commitment to her legacy is unwavering. From the moment they became friends in the early 1980s, Elton admired Diana's courage, compassion, and ability to connect with people on a deeply human level. After her tragic death in 1997, Elton took it upon himself to ensure that her memory, and the values she stood for, would never be forgotten. Elton's decision to speak out about Diana's struggles and the challenges she faced was not an easy one. For years, he remained silent about the role King Charles allegedly played in Diana's isolation and the strain on their friendship. However, Elton later revealed that he felt a responsibility to share the truth, not to stir controversy, but to honor Diana's life and legacy. He believed that the world needed to know the full extent of what she endured as a member of the royal family, and how her humanitarian efforts were sometimes overshadowed by royal politics. One of Elton's most significant acts of loyalty came at Diana's funeral. His performance of a reworked version of Candle in the Wind became a defining moment of public mourning. The song, rewritten as Goodbye England's Rose, was a heartfelt tribute to Diana's life and the impact she had on millions around the world. The performance was not without controversy, as King Charles reportedly had reservations about the emotional tone of the song, but Elton stood firm. His tribute was a way of giving the people a voice to grieve and celebrate Diana's legacy. Beyond the funeral, Elton's dedication to Diana's memory has continued through his unwavering support for her children, Prince William and Prince Harry. His defense of Harry and Meghan Markle during their struggles with the press and royal life reflects his ongoing loyalty to Diana's values. Elton has never hesitated to stand up for what he believes is right, even when it means speaking out against powerful figures like King Charles. For Elton, standing up for Diana is more than an act of friendship. It's a promise to keep her spirit alive. Through his words, music, and actions, he continues to ensure that Diana's legacy of kindness, courage, and humanity shines brightly, even decades after her passing. Elton's final break with the royals. Elton John's relationship with the royal family has always been complex, but in recent years, it has reached a breaking point. While Elton has remained loyal to Princess Diana's memory and her children, Prince William and Prince Harry, his public support for Harry and Meghan Markle has created a clear divide between him and the rest of the monarchy, especially King Charles. This final break with the royals is not just about personal relationships, it's about Elton standing up for what he believes in and defending Diana's legacy. Elton's bond with Diana's sons grew stronger after her tragic death in 1997. He had always admired Diana's courage and compassion, and he saw those same qualities in Harry. Over the years, Elton became a trusted ally and mentor to Harry, offering guidance as he navigated the pressures of royal life. However, When Harry and Meghan stepped back from their royal duties and faced relentless media scrutiny, Elton's loyalty to them became more visible and more controversial. One key moment in Elton's break with the royals came when Harry and Meghan were criticized for using private jets. Elton publicly defended the couple, revealing that he had provided the flights and ensured they were environmentally offset. This was his way of protecting Diana's son and standing up against the same kind of unfair media treatment Diana had endured. However, Elton's vocal support for Harry and Meghan deepened the rift between him and King Charles, who was reportedly unhappy with Elton's involvement. For Elton, this wasn't just about Harry and Meghan, it was about the values Diana stood for. She had always championed causes of compassion and justice, and Elton felt it was his responsibility to do the same for her children. He saw parallels between the media's treatment of Diana and the attacks on Harry and Meghan, and he was determined to protect them, even if it meant distancing himself from the monarchy. Elton's final break with the royals is a testament to his unwavering loyalty to Diana and her family. While his relationship with the monarchy may never be repaired, his commitment to standing up for Diana's legacy remains stronger than ever.
How was she dangerous?
Because of the need for her to rehabilitate her image.
That made her dangerous.
That made her dangerous because of the connections that she was forging within the British press.
Under Queen Camilla's grand mansion, hidden deep below the ground, there was a secret tunnel no one knew about. For years, it stayed hidden, untouched, and forgotten. But one day, the FBI discovered it by accident. At first, they thought it was just an old underground path, maybe used by workers a long time ago. But as they stepped inside, the air felt cold, and something didn't seem right. The tunnel was dark and quiet, but their flashlights showed strange things on the walls, things that shouldn't be there. The further they walked, the more their hearts pounded. Then, at the very end of the tunnel, they saw something so shocking, so terrifying, that their faces turned pale. Whatever was down there had been kept secret for a reason. The tip-off that changed everything. It all started with something no one saw coming. An anonymous tip. One cold evening, a strange email landed in the inbox of an American intelligence officer. There was no sender's name, no clear details about where it came from. But the message itself was chilling. It simply read, "Check under Queen Camilla's estate. Tunnels. Secrets buried. It's bigger than you think." At first, the team thought it was a prank. I mean, who sends an email like that about the Queen Consort? But attached to that email were old, dusty documents and a few new maps. The documents looked aged, almost ancient. Some even had royal stamps and strange symbols no one recognized. But what really caught everyone's attention were the maps. These maps showed tunnels, hidden rooms, and even a marked vault. All of it sitting right under Queen Camilla's private mansion. It was so detailed, it felt impossible to fake. And that's when the FBI realized they couldn't just ignore this. What if it was real? What if there was something dangerous or illegal hidden beneath royal grounds? Why the FBI got involved? Now, here's the crazy part. The FBI doesn't normally go near royal business. That's not their area. But the tip-off wasn't just about Britain. Some of the leaked documents had connections to secret American operations, old bank transfers, and offshore accounts linked to powerful people. That was enough for the FBI to care. If any part of this connected to US soil or their past missions, they had to check it out. But there was a huge problem. How do you walk into the British royal estate without causing a global mess? The moment the FBI reached out to British intelligence, chaos broke out. Furious phone calls, secret meetings, and a lot of back and forth followed. No one knew what to do. British officials were angry, scared, and confused all at once. Can you imagine the headlines? FBI invades royal home? They knew they had to handle this quietly. So, after days of fighting and secret talks, both sides agreed on one thing. A small, hidden team of FBI agents would work with British agents. No cameras, no press, no one else would know. The search begins. The agents arrived just as the sun was setting. Queen Camilla's mansion looked calm, almost peaceful. Birds flew across the sky. The trees stood still. and everything seemed perfect. But everyone there felt it. Something was off. They started their search inside the mansion. Every wall, every room, every corner was checked. Hours passed. Nothing. The place looked clean, normal. And then they reached the wine cellar. Now, this wine cellar was ancient. Stone walls, wooden racks full of dusty bottles, and a smell of age that filled the air. But something stood out. A newly installed wooden cabinet. It was polished, clean, and too fresh for a place like this. Curious, the agents moved the cabinet. What they found made their hearts race. A small metal door, hidden perfectly behind it. No handle, no lock, just strange carvings around the edges. No one had seen this before. It took them a while, but finally they pried the door open. What greeted them was a wave of cold, damp air. The smell of wet earth and rust filled their lungs. In front of them was a dark, narrow tunnel leading deep underground. First impressions. Inside the tunnel. The tunnel felt like something out of a nightmare. It was pitch dark, narrow, and terrifyingly quiet. Every step the agents took echoed loudly. The walls were lined with old bricks, some falling apart, some looking strangely new. But what scared them the most were the symbols carved into the walls. Crowns, snakes, crosses, and strange words written in languages no one there could understand. Some symbols looked like they had been added recently. Others seemed centuries old. Then came the real surprise. Hidden among the bricks was wiring. Some of it was ancient, rusty, and covered in dust. But some wires were new, clean, and clearly put there just a few years ago. The mix of old and new made it clear. Someone had been using this tunnel. Someone still knew about it. The agents kept moving deeper. Each step felt heavier as the air grew colder. The shocking secret rooms. After what felt like hours, the tunnel finally opened up into a large underground chamber. What the agents saw next left them frozen in shock. The room was massive, almost like a forgotten underground palace. Dusty wooden tables stood around. Old books, scrolls, and maps covered every surface. Shelves ran along the walls, filled with thick, leather-bound books that looked like they hadn't been touched in hundreds of years. Some of the maps were of places that didn't exist anymore. Others showed cities, castles, and royal homes with markings and red circles. One of the agents whispered, "This is no ordinary place." They moved slowly, carefully checking everything, and that's when they found the artifacts. Strange and priceless artifacts. There, hidden in the shadows, were treasures people had only heard about in history books. Ancient swords with royal engravings, shields that carried the family crests of kings long gone, and royal jewelry, crowns, necklaces, rings, all thought to be lost in wars or stolen. Some pieces were so precious that they could change the entire royal family's history if revealed. Among these treasures, they found personal items, letters, love notes, and photographs. The photos were perhaps the most shocking. Yellowed with age, but still clear. Some showed famous royal family members in private moments. Others had political leaders from different countries, together in secret meetings, shaking hands, or even hugging. Some pictures were downright scandalous. If these photos ever got out, they could destroy powerful families, ruin reputations, and change history. The disturbing sealed door. But the worst was yet to come. In the corner of the chamber stood a large metal door. It was sealed tight, thick, and new. Unlike everything else, this door was built to protect whatever was inside. With effort, the agents forced it open. What they found was worse than anyone could have imagined. Inside was a vault, cold, clean, and terrifying. Piles of documents sat neatly stacked. Some were ancient, written on fragile paper with royal seals. Others were modern, typed, signed, and stamped. These papers were not just random files. They were evidence, proof